This segment's being sponsored by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency. Join us in preserving and protecting Tennessee's wildlife.
This weekend is the juvenile hunt for those of us here in Tennessee. You know, I look forward to this weekend every year to be able to hear the stories and see the pictures of all the deer that the young people took. The thing that I love about deer hunting is it doesn't matter who you are or even what age you are. A big trophy buck could walk out in front of you at any moment. That makes it special. You know, someone else that's not limited by who we are or our age is Jesus Christ. His love is available for all of us. In Matthew chapter 7, verse 8, Jesus says this, that everyone who asks will receive, and he who seeks will find, and he who knocks, the door will be open. So my challenge for you this week is this. Take a young person hunting this weekend. Introduce them to the passions and the love that you have for the outdoors. But the big challenge is this. If you don't have a relationship with Jesus Christ, I encourage you to ask, to seek, and to knock. His love and forgiveness is available for anyone and everyone. Hey, thanks for watching this week. We pray that you are blessed, and always remember, keep shooting straight.
All right, guys, this segment's been sponsored by our friends over at Taylor's Archery. Y'all can find them at 100 East Lauderdale Street in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Or y'all can give owner Tracy Taylor a call at 931-563-7706 and let him and Cam and the rest of the team take care of all your archery needs. Spend some time shooting in his indoor range there on those rainy days, too. All right, welcome back to the studio. If you guys would like to call in tonight with any questions or comments, you can go ahead and do that now. 615-737-7767. And while we're waiting on some of those calls, time to move over here to Miss Emery for a minute and talk to you for a few minutes here. Now, how did you get started? How did we get you started in deer hunting?
Well, one day you just took me hunting. I brought some coloring books and I saw some deer and all that stuff. And then as I got older, it's finally time for me to start hunting.
So I think you were about 3, and I took you out the first time. I remember that it was to where you couldn't walk through the grass. I had to pick you up and carry you because the grass was too tall, and we took you in there, and you saw those first ones, and you were excited. You liked it then, and you know, as you came up, I guess you were probably about 5 when you really started wanting to go a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was after you shot that one doe.
While you were with me. And I'll say when that happened, we shot this deer, Randall, and there was probably 10 or 12 of them in the field. And I told her, I said, if we see a bunch of does this morning, we'll get one, because she kept wanting me to shoot one, and I kept passing them, you know, throughout. And so sure enough, a bunch of them came out there, and I picked one and shot it. They all split up, of course, 10 or 12 whitetails running everywhere. And I told her, I said, wait a minute, we're going to wait on Pawpaw to get down here, and we'll go try to find, you know, where she ran, go from there. And she kept saying, well, Daddy, she just ran right up there. And I said, well, a bunch of them ran up there, you know. And she said, no, she went right up there. She, you know, we climbed down, and sure enough, she had watched that deer and walked me right up to where it run in the woods, and there it laid. So I knew then she had been paying attention, and she was hooked from then. But we're going to get to you getting your first one in just a minute, but we have a caller here. John, how are you doing tonight? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
How are you doing tonight?
Hey, doing great, doing great. I was just wondering if that girl took anything good last season, if she took home any turkey or anything.
She did get a deer this past year, the one from tonight's show. We did not get a turkey. She did earn herself a few tail feathers off of one over at Mr. Denny's place one morning.
Well, I'll be darned. Do y'all bow hunt?
I'm sorry?
Is that bow hunting?
No, she wasn't bow hunting then. We were shotgun hunting that morning.
Well, I'll be darned. Well, y'all, they look like fine young'uns there, and just keep them going.
Hey, I appreciate you calling. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Have a good night. Who was on 2? Lewis, how you doing tonight?
No, this was Willis, man.
Willis, I couldn't hear you. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, thank you, buddy. How y'all doing?
Doing great. We appreciate you calling.
I see you got these youth hunters in there this week. and
do.
I've got a little grandson. He just turned 8-year-old, and he's kind of small for his age.
Yeah.
But what would be the perfect gun for a kid that age?
You know, there's several different calibers out there now that are good for youth. I grew up on a 7mm 08. I know this young man beside me did as well. Emery shoots a 243, but I also want you to know she started out with a 223. And as many people are kind of naysayers on that, I was myself until she shot the first one, and I was no longer a naysayer. So if you find a 223 that fits the child better than a 243 or a 308 or whatever, I would get them whatever fits them the best rather than a particular caliber. But just some other options.
Short-armed.
Yeah, so, well, I started Emery actually when she was a lot smaller in an AR platform so that I could fold the stock all the way down. And that's what worked for her. You know, that's what worked for her. But, you know, just whatever fits them better is more important really than the caliber size, as long as you don't get anything too big. But now we've got the 350 Bushmaster, for example. That's supposed to be low recoil. And several other newer rounds as well. But as long as you stay in a smaller caliber and get them something that fits them well, they'll be able to shoot it better.
Okay, well, he's been shooting a 22, and he's dead out with it.
Hey, that's the
good
key.
thing right there.
That's key, is just learning that trigger pull, and the rest will come from there. But I would just look into a little Remington youth model or Mossberg youth model, something like that. Mossberg makes a Bantam, for example, and that you can take that and adjust the stock throughout the years and make it longer, you know, as they grow with it. And CBA Scout rifle is another good choice. The little Scout rifle that they make, you can get that.
Okay, I appreciate it, and tell him good luck.
All right.
Keep him on that 22.
Yeah, keep him on that 22. Have a good night. Thank you for calling.
Thank you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Robert, how are you doing tonight? Oh, we're getting feedback, Robert. You have to turn your TV off. All right. Robert, if you want, try to give us a shout back and we'll definitely get you on here. But you'll need to cut off your TV in the background. I believe we're getting some feedback from something. But anyhow, give us a call back. We'll try to get you on here. While we're sitting there talking, though, Emery, we were just talking about you getting started. So tell me about your first deer that you got.
We're out in the field, and all of a sudden we just saw a little herd of deer, like a buck and doe, some does and a buck. And this buck kept chasing this doe everywhere, and I was like, Daddy, there's a deer right there. And I was like, shoot it. And I was like, kind of concentrate, and then you started squeezing me so hard.
She said I squeezed her so hard she couldn't shoot. I was trying to get her, held still. And but you did good. But tell me this, what happened the first time you pulled the trigger?
First time I pulled the trigger, that buck just moved, and he was like, what was that? He just lifted his head.
We didn't knock a hair off of him, did we? But you made that second shot count. So that went well. Tell me what you're looking forward to about this weekend. You think we're going to get a deer? I mean, what you think you're going to try to shoot a doe, or you going to wait on a buck, or what are you going to do?
Well, we got this new spot, and I'm really excited to try it out. Because he said there's going to be like lots of does there. And
we're hoping
bucks.
so. There's a lot of does there, and you know what that means. This time of year, if there's a lot of does there, there's some bucks around there most likely too, isn't it? So looking forward to that. What did you think about Chance getting his first one last year? It was pretty cool being with Chance and seeing somebody else get their first one.
I felt really excited for him because the first two tries he missed. Because it was really dark outside.
It was. He was the master of low light hunts. I couldn't help it. They just kept coming in either right at dark or right at daylight. But he did good. He did good. Now, Randall, tell me about Devin for a minute. He got started when he was about 3, didn't he?
Yeah, he killed his, he rolled his arm. There was an old Jake turkey coming toward us, and I thought, I'm going to let him kill that. I mean, he was a little old bitty fella, and my hunting changed for the best ever that day. He, every time I'd make a yelp, he would do it with his mouth. And I said, buddy, you want to shoot that old turkey? And he said, yeah, Pappy, let me shoot it. So all I had was an old 12-gauge shotgun. So I'm leaning back against the tree and got the gun leaning right here. He rolled his arm over that thing, and he was looking at the bead, And I said, can you hit him? He said, yeah. And I said, well, pull the boom, you know. He went. So he killed that, and from then on, my hunt was all about him. Every bit of it, you know. It just
it's like a switch,
thing.
isn't it? It's just that's it. It's like a switch. It's the easiest thing ever was.
Oh yeah, and everything. It all meant it was all about him from then on.
Yeah.
If I found a big buck, I never thought nothing about me killing it.
Yeah.
You know,
it was getting Devin hunt.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that guy was talking about the gun a while ago. I nearly ruined him the first deer he ever shot. He was 6 years old, and I handed him no big 50 caliber muzzle loader, you know. He puts it out there and got on this, what we thought was a doe. And I said, where'd you cross there? And he said, on the shoulder. Well, if it's on the shoulder, pull the boom. You know, he'd always do that. So he dropped the gun, and he gets over here beside me and sits down. And I said, buddy, you've missed her. I'm reloading it again, you know. And I said, you've missed her. So I said, you're going to have to shoot her again. He said, you shoot her, Pappy. I don't feel like it, you know. So he, I seen him rubbing his eye, and I thought, oh, man, I've ruined him, you know.
Yeah.
So he gets down out of the stand, and I said, all of a sudden that deer takes off running up here behind us about 15 yards. She just drops in a brush pile. I said, buddy, you got her. He quits rubbing his head, and he said, I did? I got her? I said, yeah. I said, and he nearly jumped out of the stand then. I had to hold him back, you know. So we finally got down, and he goes running over there, and that vest looks like a dress on him, you know.
It did.
And he runs out there and he stomps over in that brush pile. He reaches down there and he said, Pappy, I done got me a big 2-pointer. He killed a spike, you know, had spikes about that long. He was ruined too.
And you know what? That was the biggest trophy in the world, wasn't it?
Yeah. But when my whole life changed, you know, and that's going the other way. He's out there. You know, he's 18 years old now, so he's out there with his buddies, you know, and they're going and getting all that stuff. And, but he still likes hunting.
He's still out there chasing them. He just ain't doing it with Granddaddy quite as much.
Yeah,
but he will again later.
He'll be there.
But he's still out chasing them, and you guys have had all kinds of adventures, and not just Devin. I mean, you've taken a lot of other young ones, but Little, she grew up in it. You know, that's all she's ever known as well. So
I've never took a little one that I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, it's just a big time.
Oh yeah,
it's a big time watching it. You just get excited about any deer again. It changes everything.
Oh yeah.
You know, so that's a pretty neat deal.
And I thought she was born with a gun in her hand, or at least a cleaning kit, you know.
She probably was. I don't know. She was born with a gun or a spinning reel in her hand, one or the other.
I just saw Daddy shooting all those deer.
Yeah. Connor, you do any fishing?
Yes, sir.
You do? What do you like to fish for?
Crappie.
Me too. That's my kind of guy right there. Go out there and catch them crappie, put them in a skillet. You like them good? You like eating them?
Yes, sir.
There aren't many better things than a skillet full of crappie, I guarantee you. I was trying to get some this morning. Randall, them old bass kept biting. I couldn't get them. I never had much luck with crappie this morning, but I did catch some bass out there on a little jig this morning. Over at Old Hickory. But the crappie just weren't in there like they have been. I'm hoping they show back up there in the next little bit. But where do you like to y'all crappie fish, around Percy Priest or Old Hickory?
Percy Priest.
All right. Well, I tell you what, that's not many better what Randall calls skillet meat than a crappie. Now, let me ask you, have you ever gone and I'm sorry, I just got a little bit of feedback and it messed me up. All right, I want to go ahead and get ready to take a break, guys, and I'll jump right back into that when we get back. We're going to get ready to take a quick break, and we'll be right back here in just a minute with some more Southern Woods and Waters.